am Logan Gast. Been in the Army National Guard for 4 years now. I have another 2 years left. I am 23 years old. I went to basic training at Fort Benning, Georgia with Easy Company 119. And it was a good experience. I think everyone should go into it. I think everyone should try out the military, just get a little discipline and try something new. It's definitely a good experience.
Did you enlist, Logan?
Yep, I enlisted. I enlisted in 2019 on the Army National Guard.
Let's go a little bit before, like graduated from high school and what year?
So I enlisted like in high school. I was 18 and then I enlisted in the high school, the Army National Guard. I went to basic training and then I had a split AIT. So I came back, finished out high school, and then I went to my AIT. And then after AIT, I got into my unit and everything.
Okay, did you know anybody when you went in?
No, I had no idea. It was a bunch of random people when I went to basic training.
And basic training was in Fort Benning?
Yep.
Was the 82nd Airborne also there?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about your basic training.
My basic training, I'm infantry, I'm 11 Charlie, indirect fire infantryman. We would do a lot of like shooting 50 cals, 240s, Mark 19s. It was a lot of fun, but it can be hard sometimes.
So what was the food like?
The food was pretty good. They feed you really well when you're over there. Depending on what you're doing though. So like when you go to the chow hall or anything like that, they have really good food. But there is like a time constraint because you got drill sergeants yelling at you. So it's like you got to get everything in, get out. You better eat really quick or you're not eating anything.
Okay, so do they still have crawling through machine gun fire and?
Yep, they have that. They're kind of getting rid of some of that when we're over there. But they have a thing where you go over there and they shoot over your head while you're crawling under some wires and going through all that.
Gas chamber, any
Yep.
of that stuff?
I went to the gas chamber. That was an experience. It didn't affect me too much, but there was a whole bunch of guys over there. Like some guys were puking, coughing. You'd see snot coming out of their nose, and their eyes were watery. And
little itchy too?
Yeah, it was very itchy. You could feel it on your neck. You can feel it everywhere.
Yeah. I kind of remember that. Kind of flashing me back now. So, basic training. You look like you're in pretty good shape. Wasn't too bad for you then.
It wasn't too bad. There were some things that were hard. Like we had some ruck marches. I'm not very good at ruck marches. We had one when we were marching to get our infantry blue cord. That one was rough because we had a reverse cycle FTX, which is like a field training exercise. So we would be up all night, we would be going over, running through like battle drills and doing squad missions, and all night we were doing that, and then we would go on a road with a ruck march, and we would have to go 20 miles with our ruck, and that's with our 240, our M4. We have all our mortar systems, so we're carrying like the barrel, we're carrying, you know, the base plate, the tripod, we're carrying all of that when we're going up there. But it was worth it.
I just want to say this before we go. Anybody listening, you might want to hang on to the end here. Logan has a real interesting story at the end. So, basic training, did you have graduation?
Yes, graduation was probably the best part of basic training. You feel accomplished when you actually go through everything and then you graduate, you're like, oh, finally got to this point. Like, that's what I was waiting for, was counting down the days. Just
close marching like that makes you feel good because you've done a lot of it.
Yes.
And you're used to it now.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, did you go home then after basic?
After basic training, I went home. And then I got into a unit. I was actually in 2 to the 135, which is in Mankato. So I wasn't able to drive there regularly, and then I had a request to transfer units. And then I moved to the 136, which is in Fergus Falls.
Fergus Falls.
And
You did basic training and EIT both in Fort Benning?
yep.
Okay.
I actually had the same drill sergeants in the same company both times, and it was a year apart, which was crazy.
They were a year apart?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So a little bit about AIT. Was it pretty much, for infantry, pretty much same as basic, isn't it? Only more intense maybe?
Yes, it was. I thought it was going to be a lot more laid back, and it was not. It was the same as going through basic training. It's the same exact thing, like just going through there, and you're actually doing a lot of the only thing that was different for us is towards the end, we actually got to shoot mortars and stuff. Like in the first initial part of basic training, we didn't get to shoot any mortars. I mean, we went over some of it briefly, but we didn't get to do any of that stuff.
Okay. All right. So do you have graduation for AIT too?
Yes, we had some sort of graduation for that, and then we just got sent off on a bus. There's a video on it on Facebook. If somebody wanted to watch the graduations, they have, if you went to Easy Company 119's page on Facebook, you can see them on there. They have
Okay.
a lot of them.
Okay. So you went home and you got into a unit.
Yep.
Go ahead and say that again. What?
So I got into, well, now I'm in HHC, 2 to the 136. And when I got there, it was a lot different than what I thought it was.
HHC, is that headquarters company?
Yep.
Headquarters company, okay.
So I got into headquarters. I was there for like a few months, and then we deployed right away. Like we deployed, we went to Kuwait, which we were QRF in Kuwait, which is a quick reaction force. And then I went all over from there. We did mostly training and stuff in Kuwait, but I went to Afghanistan, I went to Jordan and Qatar, I went to Germany, I've been by Iraq, I've been all sorts of places over
Been
there.
all over the place.
Yep.
So what do your parents think you're doing all this?
My parents weren't, they're happy that I was doing everything, but they're also, like when I went to Afghanistan, they were really like scared. They're really just checking on everything. They're looking at the news constantly, seeing what happened over there, and I told them not to worry about it, and it was a lot. It was definitely
Stressful
experience.
for them.
Yes.
Okay, so going to all these places, did you ever settle anywhere or?
For the most part, we're mostly in Kuwait. We're in Kuwait a lot. And we're just training a lot in Kuwait. Well, I was specifically in Camp Beering in Kuwait.
Tell me an average day there, what you did.
It would be random, but we would practice different things. We might do a live fire one day, or we might go out and take the 50 cals out, or we have the Max Pros. I was a Max Pro driver. I was supposed to be a 113 track driver. There's just a whole bunch of different trainings that we would do over there. But it would be mostly just shooting, like 240s, you know, the 50 cal, going down range and just practicing over and over.
Fun time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so how long were you in Kuwait?
I was in Kuwait most of my deployment, probably over 200 days.
200 days, okay. And you said you had an interesting story about, well, you were in Iraq, is that what?
Not in Iraq. When I was in Afghanistan, there was a lot of stuff going on in Afghanistan. Is there anything specific you would want to know?
Well, Dave, you were talking about the incident with the 13 that were killed there?
Yep. So that happened at the Abbey Gate. I was kind of far away at that point. There was going to be, we were supposed to go out for them instead that day. There was a bunch of Marines, and we just happened to switch like last second. They went to the Abbey Gate, and there was a suicide bomber that went up there, and he killed like 13 people over there. It was the loudest explosion I've ever heard in my life.
You were there?
I was there.
Okay, how far away were you?
I was a good distance away. I was probably not a mile away, maybe. I don't know. I was there though. I went to that area later on and seen everything there too.
As big a blast as it was, you know, many would have been killed, right?
Yes, it was a massive blast. There was a lot of black smoke too. You could just see the smoke rising in the back. There was a lot of explosions and stuff going off, and you'd always just see black smoke, and there's IEDs everywhere, there's grenades. We'd go into villages and stuff, and we would walk into a house, and there'd be like a grenade in there, and they took out the pins and all the safeties, and then they would put the pin back inside of it and duct tape it, and it would be just sitting in a corner. Like, it's super dangerous.
Yeah. So how long were you in Afghanistan?
I was in Afghanistan for a few weeks.
Okay. Anything, other stories you got while you were there?
Yes. So we would, these people were really desperate to get out, to get away from like the Taliban and everything there. And there's not much we could do. We're getting them out on the planes, and we're only letting people that have either helped the military in some kind of way or are related to any kind of military service with the U.S., like the ANA, which is like the Afghanistan forces. We would help those guys get out. So we wouldn't let just random people get onto this plane, but you would have people jumping over fences. Like, I'm talking really tall, like concrete barriers with sea wire on top of it. And it was our job to get those people. And so, like, one day I was out there, there was this guy, he was very small. These Middle Eastern people are very small. He was caught in the sea wire, he was all cut up. And then we ran at him, we threw like 4 flashbangs at him. He got hit in the face with one of them, and then he just finally stopped. He just put his hands up, he was super scared, he jumped down, I ran up to him. We pointed our gun at him, made him turn around, then we searched him. Made sure that he didn't have anything. The only thing that guy had was a passport on him, and he had his license. That was the only thing he had. So then he had like a little cut on his head. He folded too. Like, this thing was really tall, so when he jumped off, he like folded like a chair. But I thought he broke his leg or something, but he was fine. But then we had some other guys pick him up, and then they would drop him off at a gate, and the Taliban would take him.
Really?
Yes. We're on a ceasefire with the Taliban when we're over there.
So there were a lot of people who helped the U.S. left there, weren't there?
Yes, like a lot of people that were over there, like just random.
Afghans.
Yep.
Afghans. There was a lot of them that helped the U.S. that never did get out, did it?
Yep. There is a lot of them. A lot of them were still there. A lot of them, I don't know. And there was just a lot of stuff that went on over there.
Yeah. What kind of equipment did you carry? I mean...
Oh, I was in full battle rattle. I was carrying an IOTV, which is our plate carrier.
Is that bulletproof vest? Is
Yep.
that what that is? How heavy is something like that?
Like over 20 pounds, maybe?
20 pounds?
They're heavy. Like, if you're putting them on, especially wearing them all day, because you have everything in there, too. I'm carrying huge cans of ammo this big. Like, in each side, like each pouch that I have. Like, I have like 4 pouches filled with ammo. I was a saw gunner when I was over there.
We had the saw.
Where did I have the saw?
Did you have the saw, you said?
Yep, I was a saw gunner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lots of rounds.
Yes,
it was a lot of ammunition, doesn't it?
It was hundreds and hundreds of rounds. I think like each one had like over 200 rounds in it or something, and I was carrying like over 600 rounds on me.
That'll weight you down.
Yeah, it was a lot of weight, and that's not even our other stuff that we carry. Like, we have guys that have to carry radios, and so like when we would sit inside of a tower and we would be watching buildings or anything, we would have to radio over if we saw something. Like, we saw a Taliban truck driving by with a flag, we would mark it, and then we would radio it over. We'd do a lot of stuff like that.
Do you remember the radio nomenclature?
Some of it, we would say, like...
No, the model of the radio?
Oh, the model of the radio. I don't remember it. It was...
Like, we had what they call a PRC 25?
I don't remember exactly what kind of radio it was. It was a giant radio, though. That's what I remember. Like, all military radios are just huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And anything else you want to add, Logan?
There's other stuff there too. Like the people that were trying to get on the planes, like they would They would literally hold on to the side of the plane as it was taking off, and you would see them fall like 30,000 feet in the air.
Really?
Yes, they would fall really far. They're dead. There was a lot of people that did that.
Yeah, we saw, on the news, we saw people hanging onto the planes, but they didn't get off.
No, you can see videos on it too. You can see them literally fall like 30,000 feet in the air.
Oh.
There's
Yeah.
there's people jumping from buildings, like trying to get over this fence. There was stuff like that. There was, well, I worked with CIA over there. There's a bunch of stuff. It was crazy. Like we would be trying to destroy all this equipment before like the Taliban would get it because we're leaving. So we would dump sand and stuff into gas tanks. We would bury weapons. We'd put concrete on them. We would blow stuff up. We would smash helicopter engines. There was a bunch of, I saw on the news, there was a bunch of things talking about like the service animals and stuff over there and how they weren't getting out. Well, I was there. It was really bad. Like these animals were covered in filth and everything else, but we would get them.
Talking about dogs?
Yes. And they were like bomb dogs, like super smart dogs. I could take like a round of some kind of ammo and put it behind a truck somewhere and then walk this dog, and he will instantly go right over there, sit down, and he knew exactly where just a single piece of ammo was over there.
Well trained.
Yep, but we got a lot of those out. There was one dog that I really liked. He was an attack dog. He was very, very aggressive towards other people. I found him. He was sitting like inside of a cage. He had been there for like over a week. Not really taken care of. The owners or whatever, like the Afghanistan military, like left him there. So I had all his paperwork. It had like literally everything. When he got his teeth done, what his behaviors were. It had everything down the list. But we couldn't take that one back because he was just way too aggressive towards other people.
When you say take them back?
Take them on the plane and then just get them back to like the U.S. or somebody else. There's some people who are trying to get them back to their houses, like to own these dogs.
The handlers?
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, because they're well trained, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those dogs are really expensive too. Like you're talking like 15, 30 grand dogs.
Yeah. They put a lot of time into them.
Yeah. But that was my experience in Afghanistan. I would say like the best place I've been to though in the Middle East was would be Jordan. Jordan was amazing. I love Jordan. Perfect weather all the time. The people there are really nice. I really like the Jordanians.
Still desert, isn't it? Or?
It's still desert for the most part. You have all of the extra stuff. We were on a really nice, like fancy base. Like generals are coming through that base all the time. There was like a prince or something that was going to that base and just like talking to normal soldiers. There was a lot of stuff over there. But you have like world wonders like Petra. You have Amman that you can kind of go to. There's the Dead Sea. We were by a place in Xiphos over there. It was very nice.
Oh, cool. So you did get to do some sightseeing then?
Yep, a little bit. I worked at the ECP gate over there. So what would happen is people would be coming in, then we would scan their vehicles. We have a like an X-ray machine that would, you could see the whole entire car or the vehicle. You could see exactly what's inside of it. And then we would do that, and then we would go around it with mirrors and see if there was anything underneath it that they might have. And it could be anything from like bombs, it could be people, it could be alcohol. They're not allowed to bring like alcohol back on the base. It could be just whatever.
Okay. So, what are you full-time National Guard?
No, I'm just part-time. Do
you have a job that you do?
Yep, I work at DigiKey right now.
Oh, do you? Okay. Yep. Yeah, you work the day shift or?
I work night shift. I'm a mentor right now for receiving. So I'm teaching new people how to receive in products and everything over there.
Okay, all right. Anything else you want to add about your career?
I don't think so.
You've pretty much covered quite a bit. Yeah. So let me ask you, when you left Afghanistan, how long after everybody was leaving were you in the mix for getting out of there?
For getting out of there, we're the second to last plane to leave there.
You were the last plane to leave?
Second to last.
Okay, what kind of plane did you leave on?
I don't know exactly what they're called. I have pictures of them though. They're just, I don't know what.
C-130 maybe?
I think it is a C-130. They're massive.
Yep.
Like I have a video of, or I have a picture of us going there, and there's like 400 of us, like in the back of the plane, laying like on the like ground of the plane. There's no like they have seats on the side, but you got to get lucky if you're gonna sit in one of those.
Yeah, yeah. So you're in for 2 more years,
Yep.
and anything else you want to add?
Not really. I got these 2 years left. I'm happy that I did everything. I think it's a good experience, though. I think everyone should check it out.
Okay. Well, Logan, I want to thank you for doing this interview,
Yep.
and thank you for your service and your continued service.
Thank you.
Thank you.